Let's go ahead and get started. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Today is the 12th of August, 2022. I got a couple trades that I want to be looking at. Let's make sure that we are live in the room as well. Looks good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Three Dog Trader, Angie, Brittany, Chris, Dash. Dash, nice to see you in here this morning. Dave, High Flyer, Jody, JW. Um, JW, look at my email or my message that I sent out to you. Let's see here. Melissa, Omer, PH, P Money, Sarita, SM, Shane, good morning. Strider, Tex, Vic, Whistlers, Ibatsu, Underdog. If I miss anybody, I love you. Thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's have another good day. It's been a really good week. I hope you guys are doing well. Don't forget, if you can, please take the time to go into the journal room. You don't have to do it today, but man, we have a whole entire weekend for you guys to put your trades in there, right? We're a community. I want to be able to, get community involvement. We want to look at your trades, see how you guys are doing. Whether you make money or you don't make money, don't be embarrassed, right? We win, we lose some. Put it in there. You could get some valuable feedback that might help you out. Okay, so again, that's going to be in the journal channel. Just look for there to get some sort of feedback. Also, if you need any chart requests, just go ahead and put those in member chat. First, I'm going to go through some of our daily focus trades. So when you wake up in the morning, you should be looking at daily focus, trade plans, any kind of market updates, and then over to main chat. Okay, so let's go into daily focus really quick. And far as today is concerned, I'm going to go over these really quick because I've already put them in the room for you. All right. So SPY, this is what I'm looking at, but I want to just show you and also reiterate that the market's strong. It's kind of melting up. I think a lot of shorts are getting very frustrated. I went ahead and peeled out of most of my positions to the long side after we hit some supply. And currently right now, we're just pushing back up into a 4-hour inside and down. I want to go ahead and annotate that on the charts for you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up my drawing tool. All right. And let's go ahead and get started right here. So we have this little inside and down, okay, right here. You can see that. The only thing that I will say is that notice that the EMA cloud is holding as support. That's very typical, especially during trend, right? My eyes, though, are focused down here on this demand, which is lower. And the reason why I like this demand is because it's strong. Look at the nice chaotic candle that's moved out of here. All this lets me know is that price has moved so quickly that perhaps we have not filled all the orders down here. And if we run out of buyers, then we could see prices move back into this level. And this would give us the next cycle down. Now, I want to say with caution and as a disclaimer, this doesn't mean that I'm bearish. Matter of fact, if you look up here, you can see that the banners are extremely bullish. Okay. So we're above trend. We're above the EMA. Things are looking really good. We know that we're working up in a down range on the bigger time frame. Okay. So this is just an idea. If price starts to break down, we could see down here towards this zone. Okay. Now, this morning on SPY, what I like to see is a little push into this level here on open. And even if we go over and read my notes here, I prefer a pop here. I'm thinking about selling credit. Okay. Probably most likely on SPX in this area. If it goes over, then I just don't do anything. So price starts to move over here, then we go to a different plan. We start looking for the market to continue its move up. Pretty straightforward, okay? If we start to break down, let me give you another scenario. If we push here and then we break down and we can't get over this pivot high, then I'm going to go ahead and sell that credit. Now, I'll most likely do an iron condor, okay? So if I do an iron condor, I'd be selling my call credit spreads up here. Again, most likely looking at SPX, but you can do it on SPY as well. Right up here. And then as far as support is concerned for today, let's go ahead and measure. Let's go here to Wednesday and come up to the pivot high. And I would expect price to hold today right here around 416, but that's a little too far away. I don't think I'd get as much credit as I want. So we're going to go ahead and use this 419, 420 level. So far as range is expected today, it could be right in here, right between these two levels. Again, this is a void. If price then breaks over this level, builds a base here, we flag, then obviously we're going to go up here and we are going to look for that pivot. If we pivot high over that, we continue the rally to the upside and continue to hold this cloud and trend. As long as we're holding that, things look pretty good. I just think we need a little bit of digestion here. But what I think and what happens are two totally different things sometimes. So again, be prepared. And this will be my line in the sand for today around 423.15. Is that pretty straightforward? You guys understand that? So again, we're just waiting on 423.15. All right. Over here on, let's go ahead and look at LMT. Okay. Give me 1 second. Spot. I will look at LMT for you. Let's go ahead and go to spot. I want you to see this on a 4 hour. This is my trade plan right here. It's pretty straightforward. We already traded this and made some money. A couple things to point out. We have some low compression down here in the TTM squeeze. We are above the 4 hour cloud. We are above the supply or the trendy edge, this yellow line here. And when prices build above there, I want this to be support. Notice that I have support at 118.49. Okay, this is a more of a swing position. So I want to stay long as 118.49 is intact. If it's just a day trade for today, okay, if it's just a day trade today, I want to see that 122 holds. 122. Okay. Again, swing support 118.49. As far as intraday, I want 122 to hold. Just like the SPY, a lot of these charts are going to look the same. We have a pivot high from yesterday. The question is, can we push over this, or do we just kind of push up into the day and then go range bound? That would be a really boring Friday. Okay. So there's the idea on SPOT. My next one here is ORCL or Oracle. Okay. I really like this one as well. What I'm looking for is a little bit bigger picture. So we're going to go over here to the weekly, and you can see here that we have a double inside right now. If we start to build value over 78.05, and we're pretty darn close here, pre-market, there are several things that are going on that I really, really like. First of all, the momentum on this chart is going from a red to white. Let's go ahead and zoom in. You can see that red candles, red candles. Now we have white. Notice that your EMA cloud is starting to get a little tight. Okay. And the tighter it gets, the bigger the move typically is. I'd like to see a pop over this level, and my targets are right up there. That is a target. And I'm looking for 82.60 by 86.56. Now, we have two different scenarios. Let's say that we open up and we hit this green line up here. I want everyone to understand, although it says trigger long, this is resistance. So it's not like one of those things where immediately I might take this. I want to give it some time to see if it can actually get over this resistance, okay? If it does, then I will take the trade. I have the options that I'm looking at on this trade itself. I think they're at the money or in the money, and I'm looking at 2 weeks, 2 weeks to 3 weeks out. Doesn't mean that it can't work quicker. But those two options that I'm talking about, if I don't take the trigger long, and let's say that we just kind of reverse off of this level after the first 30 minutes or so of the morning, and we start to pull back, then I would prefer to take trades on an entry on a reclaim in a demand zone. Okay, I prefer pullbacks over breakouts. All right, especially in this market. All right, breakouts just tend to fade, and the pullback, that's the clearance rack. That's where I want to be buying a little bit cheaper. Okay. So that is the plan here on Oracle. And also notice down here, we have higher lows here on the TTM squeeze. I really like that look as well. And again, I like how it's starting to squeeze here. Let's go ahead and move down. J&J. This is a short setup. Let's go ahead and talk about it really fast. This is the weekly look. Couple things. Okay. We have green to white to red. Once this thing went red, we actually fired to the downside here on a trendy signal. And I am aiming towards this box right here, or the trendy edge. You can see that. You can also see that the trendy edge is in line with some demand here. Okay, so we have some demand here, and I think that's where we're headed to. Now, the question is, do you want to take a put on, price as it's down? Heck no. I actually want to wait for a pop. All right. Just like the SPY, let me show you on a little bit smaller time frame here. What I would prefer to see is that price actually pushes back up towards this zone, which is 167.97 by 169.64. Notice that the EMA cloud is resistance until proven otherwise. Okay, so that pop into this supply zone would actually be the area that I'm interested in going short. It's two things or two ways that I can approach this because I can be wrong. If price decides to stay above 167.97, we just leave it alone. Okay, but if it happens to pop and then break back down, I want to be getting into my short and I want to see if we can reach down here towards 165.68. That is J&J's plan. And I may actually trade this on a weekly for today, or I may buy into next week. Okay, just kind of depends on my mood and how the market is moving when we open up here. But I did, that is my plan there. So let me go ahead and mute Chandler really quick. All right, there we go. So if we pop into this zone again, I will wait until we break back down below that 167.97. All right, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to RBLX. All right, so this one came up on, all of these came up on some of my scanners here. This trade looks pretty good. I like it. It looks like it has a little momentum behind it. But again, I'd prefer that we pull back towards the 47.73 area. If you look close, we have an inside and up zone here. Okay. And again, we fired off, but we have a good, 5 or 6 bars here. It feels like it needs to digest a little bit. Again, we'll watch it. It's flagging. It's above the cloud. Things look good. But again, the question is whether or not we actually move enough for a substantial play today, or do you stay patient and wait for the pullback, right? So that's the question for right now. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. And just so you know, the levels 470, 47.73 and upper 52.41 is what I'm looking for. The next trade is just you. I've never traded this in my life, but it pulled up on one of my scanners. Again, I'd like to see it come down into this zone at around 49, and then I would like to trade it back up towards 54.55. Okay, this is a neutral zone. So in this case, I have two different options here, really three. I could sell credit up here. I can go short if we break down underneath the neutral, or I can just sit and wait for the zone and then try to go long out of here. All right. So again, that is you. And we already went over SPY, but let's just look at it one more time just in case you missed it. Okay, this is the plan for this morning, and we are moving up towards that resistance just like I expected from last night. Talked about this on the close yesterday. So as we move up, this gives me a better opportunity to sell credit. But once again, if we break over 423.15 and stay above there, I don't do anything. Okay, this isn't one of those things where I'm just like, hey, I got a thesis and I'm just going to execute it. It's if this, then that. If price breaks above 423.15, we do nothing. If it starts to break back down, I'm going to feel better about selling the credit here. Most likely today, I want to spend about 30 minutes before I do anything, far as this SPY position is concerned. I want to give it a little bit of time. Okay. So the market's been sort of in a slow melt up phase. I don't want to be on the wrong side, but if I am, we can always cut and flip sides if we need. Okay. So that is SPY. And then let's go ahead and get over here into anything that you guys want to see. Let me know. So we'll go over LMT really quick. I want to look at AMC. As far as LMT, if you don't mind me asking, if you guys want a chart, please tell me what you're looking at. Do you want a swing? Do you want intraday? That type of trade. Okay. If not, if you don't tell me, I'm going to give you the bigger look into the shorter time frame. So right now it looks great. I think it looks good as long as it stays above 419 and a half. Okay. overall, you can see that your banners are bullish, okay? Overall, the yearly, the monthly, the weekly, things are looking really good. Also notice down here from a weekly perspective, we have our first yellow bar. I like that on the squeeze. We also have, let me go ahead and highlight this here. Okay, you got those black dots showing up on your TTM Squeeze Pro. That looks great, but we are in a channel. Okay, so I don't typically trade, by using channels, but you can see we're trying to break over here. We're trying to get above the trendy edge. For me, from a swing perspective, I want to use the cloud as support. So around 418 and a half, as long as that holds today and into, a swing trade, then I like it. All right. So I like it. And it looks good and looks like it can move up into the top of this selling pressure. So around 444. Okay. So again, I like the swing on this. And yeah. So if you have any further questions, just let me know. Let's look really quick though at the smaller time frame on the 4 hour. Yeah. So we need above 432.90 though. 432.90. I would do nothing here. That's me. You guys know how I am. My edges work very well. You can see that. It's resistance until proven otherwise. It's a no-go for me until we get above that edge. Okay. So again, above about 433. Okay. All right. Tesla, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Far as intraday, same thing. It's sitting down lower on the curve. I like that, but there is an inside and up down here. Okay, dip and rip, you could see that. But it's already come back and tested. So what that makes me think is that we are making higher lows from a demand zone, right? So you can see that, right? Can you see that? So right here. So as long as we can hold that line, then there is a potential that we do not come down into the zone. But if you break that trend line, there's a possibility we could fade back into this demand zone down here. It looks pretty sideways. All right. For me, intraday, personally, I'd be trading the PMZ, the pre-market zone. You guys know what that is. So I'd go over here to the 5 minute, make sure that the risk fits your tolerance. But understand also this is, pretty wicky, right? It gets wicky. And so, 66 cents is not, it's a very tight risk. So you could get wicked out pretty easily. But again, sometimes they work very, very well on the PMZ. You can see here is yesterday's PMZ, right? So what is the plan? You short once it breaks down below here, stops are above the PMZ. Notice that the top of this is right in line with your supply zone, and then you just stay short. All right. So very nice demonstration of the PMZ there. So once we open up here, you can try to trade off the PMZ if you like. Okay. Could be fun. All right, next one, I want to show you AMC. We had this one pegged. A lot of you guys did really well. This thing's had some momentum. This is actually pulling up on the ADX scanner. It continues to move. I liked it from a weekly perspective. We jumped into it a couple weeks ago. We went red to white. So right here, folks, check this out. Looking at your TTM squeeze, we have some low compression in here. You are compressing. It's getting tighter. And it looks like a really nice push could happen here. Those are my alerts, my bots going off here for some signals. But you could see that we hit our target, like literally to the tick. And here we are at 26.68 on the ask side, and we are inside this zone. So far as today is concerned, as long as 26.15 can hold, I would be looking for this to continue to push up towards 32. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Strider wants to know about Adobe. Let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, this is what I see, okay, on the weekly. Check it out. We're in a squeeze, right? You see that, Strider? We have the nice look here. This is pretty common throughout the market. I just want to make sure that I reiterate that a lot of these charts look the same. The zone down here, okay, the demand zone that I'm looking at comes in right around here. And so the trade plan that I'm giving you after such a run in the market, like I'm saying, 353 into 443, you can see it's almost run $100 since. The time to take this trade was on that inside and up, like I teach, just front running that. I think your target is up here towards the YE or the trendy edge towards 451. It did hit some supply. Let's go ahead and zoom in so we can look a little bit closer, okay? All right, so your supply, let's go ahead and use the wick in this case, and you're exactly right, we hit supply, okay? So that is supply, and if we were to take the line right in here, let's go ahead and, that's rough, okay? You could say that price, this is your line in the sand for right now, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to pull back Strider into those levels, okay? It doesn't have to. This is your line in the sand. You got to take into the broad market. So my sentiment on the broad market today is when I look at the ES futures, I look at, what I was showing you earlier on the SPY, is do we take out that pivot, right? That's the big question today. A lot of us feel like the short time frame is a little, it's a little overextended at the moment. The larger time frame is telling me that the market could continue to move though, right? So we're kind of stuck in this phase where everybody's like sitting and waiting and wondering, okay, do we take the next leap? Is it okay to go into the next long, right? Because it starts to feel a little shaky up here. All right. So again, your line in the sand for me anyways is going to be above that 439. If we start bidding above there, I think we could dig deeper into this supply zone. Remember how the SPY and the NASDAQ were pushing through that supply zone? Remember? So check this out. One thing you need to take into consideration as a new supply and demand trader, if you're new, a lot of people don't see this. See, price moved down. That was your inside and down. But then notice that price moved right back up and tested. That's one time, two times, three times, four times. See that, Strider? So for me, the bulls are really trying to break down this supply, and this is bullish. They made a new high within supply, and as long as price can hold 23.6 of this rally, then I think that we continue to push up here towards that YE. Okay? So we did hit supply, but just note that it's hit four times. All right? Yeah, pretty crazy. All right, let's look at the ES futures one time because we started with the SPY and typically we start with ES futures. Just want to go over this really quick. This is our weekly. You guys can see this is what I mean. This is what I mean, Strider. All right, and anybody that's watching, this was, when we were looking at that last chart, notice how we also came into supply, but once we held that zone, that lower end of the zone becomes support, and then we head towards the back of the zone. Okay. And in this case, we broke right through. We hit our targets and we're just kind of stalled here, by the way, on ES futures. This was our target at 4224. This served as a really good support system yesterday. We had some good trades off of that and into that. And we also hit our target to the tick yesterday on ES futures. And you can see that, right? Give me 1 second. Where are we? So let's go here. Let's go right there and check this out. All right, let's get over here. Yeah, come on. Are you working? It looks really weak. All right, so there's a line right here. This was our target. I'm not sure why it's coming in like that, but that was our target. We hit that yesterday. We came down into the cloud and boom, you could see it there. Okay. All right, let's go over here into the daily. Because we want to see, what does everything look like? The daily looks bullish. We come over the 4 hour, we're just rounding out. Once again, this is the same look, folks. I think that we push up, we get towards resistance, and we break down. I really, really like this look. I really want price to come in there. But when I wanted this last week, I had to accept that, the market was just too strong. And so, most of our trades were on the net long side. Okay. Again, overall sentiment, folks, right now, we're opening up into what I feel could be resistance. Okay, maybe a little bit of a push. I want to give it about 30 minutes. And then after that 30 minutes, we'll see if things, kind of shake out and if we actually get some trend. If we don't, then this may be a pretty boring Friday. I might just sell some credit. But the idea is I will not be trading for a long period of time today. So I'll be over in simpler trading, doing my thing for 1 hour. And that starts at 10 o'clock today Central. So from 10 to 11, I'll be in there. And once I'm finished there, I have a date with my mother-in-law and friends. We'll be going over to one of the local restaurants and having brunch. And if we have any trades on, then we're going to say that is a beach trade. So remember, folks, before I get off of here, I know that I've shown you this before, but if I didn't, we have a stop when we take our trades. We have a target. This is in the situation if we go long, and you can reverse that if we go short. But we have stops and we have targets. And everything between that, I want to enjoy my life. All right. So today, around this time, if I happen to have a trade on, I will be at brunch. And I want to live my life between these two levels. Okay. There's no reason for me to sit here and stare at the charts because I cannot make anything happen. The best thing that I can do is manage the trades that I have, and I do that by using predefined risk. Okay. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me, guys. I really appreciate your attention. We'll get back here into the room, and don't forget to check us out